Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this webinar that we're hosting this afternoon. My name is Lauren Reinhardt. I'm with OptionsCity on the business development team. Pleased to be with Kevin West from RCG and my colleague Andrew Lissy from our Algo product manager from OptionsCity as well. Again, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We are gonna kind of briefly touch on the fundamentals of automated trading, jump into some functionality based off of OptionsCity software, and in addition, Kevin will be kind of describing some of RCG's offerings, and then we'll get into a little bit more of the advanced side of automated trading. Andrew will be handling that portion of the discussion, and then of course we'll open it up for questions at the end. So without further ado, we'll kind of jump into the slides here and look forward to kind of getting through the presentation and questions at the end, of course. So just some background on OptionsCity. We were founded roughly in 2007 and have become a leading trading software firm. We are a certified independent software vendor on the various leading derivatives exchanges in the United States, Europe, and Canada. Our software is built towards speed and power, being that it is a server-based end-to-end solution from execution to risk management. We have two products that we're going to showcase today that center around automated trading, one of which is called Metro, which is our front-end execution platform that includes automated trading functionality, mass quoting, theoretical pricing, and of course risk management. And then we'll also be jumping into our newest platform, which is kind of a more advanced algo trading, automated trading platform we have recently released called Freeway, which is high performance, customized automated trading strategy platform. Can either function as a standalone or be integrated with Metro. So you'll get a glimpse of both of these today, and we'll walk through some examples of automated trading strategies within those two platforms. With that, I'll kind of turn it over to Kevin, and he can give an introduction for RCG and jump into his slide.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. Like Lauren mentioned, my name is Kevin West. I'm a senior client relationship manager at Rosenthal Collins Group, or RCG, as we're more commonly known throughout the futures industry. RCG is a world-leading regulated FCM with over 89 years of industry expertise. We have direct clearing relationships to all the major U.S. futures exchanges, as well as we have access to the world futures markets through our network of correspondent relationships. We offer over 20 different platforms, and obviously I'm here to partner up with OptionsCity, and OptionsCity is definitely one of our higher end trading platforms. And obviously if you want to learn some more about how to clear through Rosenthal via OptionsCity, you can contact Lauren or myself directly, and our contact information will be at the end of the presentation. Amongst our clearing and trading software, we also offer newsletters, but I'd like to specifically hit on our RCG Daily Technical Spotlight. This is exclusive to RCG customers. Only you have to have a direct trading account with us. It's delivered by 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. It gives a brief technical overview as well as brief commentary on the 6 different markets that we offer on that newsletter. Those markets are the mini S&P, crude oil, gold, euro currency, soybeans, and corn. You can get a free 30-day trial. You can contact me directly at 312-795-7816, or you can email me at kwest@rcgdirect.com. And if you didn't catch that, again, my contact information as well as Lawrence will be at the end of the presentation. But before we move on, I have a disclaimer I have to read. Futures trading involves risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether futures trading is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and objectives, financial resources, and other relevant circumstances. This is a sales solicitation. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. At this point, I'll turn it back over to Lauren of OptionsCity. And again, it's a pleasure to be a partner with OptionsCity. We have a great working relationship together.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate you being here as well. So we'll just kind of jump into the presentation here, and we'll start with a basic understanding of exactly what automated trading is. Of course, automated trading is very reliant on computer-generated buy or sell signals then being transitioned into either automatically or manually entered trades into the marketplace. So, the computer actually executing the order or generating a signal that then alerts the trader to a potential opportunity, which he or she would then manually enter into the marketplace. The connotation of high frequency trading often is applied to automated trading, but certainly that is not exclusive of automated trading. And as you'll see in kind of the demonstration of the functionality within the OptionsCity platforms, many of these orders or trades are generated through the use of algorithms, which can have an implication of timing, price, quantity, or the way we kind of look at the world within OptionsCity is based on edge in the marketplace. As algo trading, automated trading becomes more and more of a hot topic, you can see, we've provided some numbers based off of, a CME report from Q1 of 2010, kind of revealing that algo trading is becoming more and more of, the volume in the marketplace. Between message traffic and the percentage of actual volume, ranging from 50 upwards of 70% of actual volume, and then at the low end 65 to almost 85% of the message traffic. So certainly a huge impact on the volume and trading today, as shown by these numbers. What are the advantages of algo trading? I mean, I think there are quite a few. We've highlighted a couple here. Clearly, it enables the trader, or through the automation of trading, the ability to identify and react to opportunities faster. Instead of kind of seeing the screen, diagnosing that information, then clicking on a mouse, having all of that automated could be lightning fast, and with that kind of the implications of co-location and those dynamics come into play as well. But certainly in this marketplace, speed is key. It clearly enables traders to track more markets simultaneously. With the amount of strikes and different exchanges, there's a lot going on, and it's very hard for people to keep track of all the different things that could potentially be happening in the marketplace. So it certainly addresses that need of traders. It can reduce emotions and certainly increase discipline, instead of chasing to catch up, or any of those different kind of emotional aspects of trading. Sticking to the regimen of what's diagnosed on the algorithm, doesn't allow anyone to kind of deviate from that. The processes and calculations that an algorithm or computer can facilitate are clearly well beyond what someone could do even in the kind of beginning electronic days, working on a desk with a calculator and calculating things and then executing a trade manually. I think it's pretty clear as well that there's really not an argument to be made about the preciseness of the calculations and how quickly they can be done through algorithmic or automated trading. And then, of course, it allows you to efficiently keep up with market liquidity, and also the rapidly changing environment with regard to technology. So one may ask that, well, if I'm a little unfamiliar with algo trading, how do I kind of get into it? Well, it can be as simple as accessing a trading software from a third-party vendor, and utilizing and building on that automated functionality within the platform, which kind of leads us to some of the functionality within OptionsCity, which will describe some of the strategies that can be deployed with trading software. So that brings us to the Metro platform, which I described initially in the presentation. And firstly, our target finder application, which is an electronic eye of sorts. Essentially what this will do, algorithmically, based off of our platform, is to go out into the market and look for orders that would meet the requirements set up in this GUI that you're looking at here. So for instance, we're looking at kind of min edge in the market, so I could say, look, I want at least 5 cents of edge based off of my theoretical pricing. We will get to how that's kind of priced here in a minute, but for the purpose of the target finder portion, we're going out in the marketplace and we're saying, look, any order that qualifies of 5 cents of edge in the market, I want to execute automatically or just be alerted to so I can execute manually. We have some quantity settings here, and then I can kind of select whether I want to be buying or selling both calls or puts, all done in an algorithm that then goes out into the marketplace. And as you can see here, I have an auto execute selection and an auto hedge selection. So anytime this algorithm finds these orders in the market, they will either be automatically executed or noted to the trader, who can then manually execute them. And then of course the ability to auto hedge those orders is another part of the algorithm that's communicated in the target finder application. So kind of simple beginning automated or algo trading functionality here, but very effective and a good way to get started. Similarly, within Metro, we have the ability to automate quoting, and our city market widget within Metro. And what this does is, based off of the quote settings or the algorithm inputs that you select within the settings of the application, it will identify where your quotes will be submitted into the market based again off of edge, so that you have protection from getting picked off or hit on quotes that might be detrimental to your trading. Simultaneously, identifying and alerting you to markets where they might be advantageous, and having the ability to have all of those quotes out the markets, simultaneously across different products or expirations, and being able to manage all of that again simultaneously within the algorithms and the automation of the platform is a pretty significant advantage, and something that is pretty commonplace today with the electronic quoting markets. So that leads us back to the theoretical pricing element of things. Obviously, kind of being able to generate your own SKUs and then your own theoretical prices would be quite difficult to build. So we've included that functionality in our platform, and kind of the foundation of automated trading is based off of generating theoretical prices. So we facilitate that in the platform, and you can kind of fit the market to what would be between the bid and the ask spread, and this then generates your theoretical prices that operate the target finder functionality, your quotes, etc. And there's kind of two different ways to do that. We have the functionality in the platform to use kind of the models that we have included in the platform, and then there are obviously groups that will run their own vol surface and SKU mechanism to generate their own theoretical prices and then feed that into the platform, which is kind of a little bit more advanced automated trading. So those are some good examples of getting started and a limited automation kind of trading strategies. At this point, I'll turn it over to Andrew Lissy, who will jump in and talk about some more advanced algo trading strategies and functionalities.
Thanks, Lauren. So as Lauren highlighted, there's a lot of pre-built-in functionality for algorithmic trading in Metro. So if you want things like a target finder or mass quoting, we've already done a lot of the work for you in getting those things up and running, and getting all your values calculated kind of behind the scenes. However, what we found in the last couple of years is more and more of our customers have wanted a deeper level of control on what they can do in the market and what they can actually achieve with their algos. So things like really fine-grainedly creating different target missions, for example, or having different quoting parameters are all things that may make a lot of sense to individual markets or individual traders, but aren't something we built in yet to Metro. So what we decided to do about 2 years ago or so was build another product called Freeway that really gives people low-level, deeply, finely grained access to all of the functionality that we've already built into all of our underlying architecture. So Freeway basically gives, as I mentioned, all of that capability with, instead of using a big already pre-built GUI on top of the server, you can write your own algorithms, your own models, right in Java, and use them just as you would use any other trading system. What's important to know is that a big difference between automated trading and more traditional point and click is you tend to tune model parameters, and you tend to kind of have the system set up a specific way to look for certain types of trades instead of necessarily pointing and clicking and firing specific trades. So with that, I'll give you a little bit deeper of a view into Freeway and kind of how people can integrate that into their standard workflow. This, if you can see, is just a screenshot of kind of what Freeway looks like. As I mentioned before, Freeway is built on top of all of the capabilities and all of the systems that OptionsCity has developed over the past 5 or so years or 6 years for our flagship product, Metro. So things like risk and exchange connectivity and orders and hedging are all things that come really for free with the Freeway API that you can very easily take advantage of, and as you'll see if you get deeper into the platform, in really very few lines of code. So this is contrasted with potentially building your own system where you have to deal with all of the kind of low-level boilerplate things like exchange connectivity and order handling and order management. We do a lot of that for you, so you don't have to worry about that, and you can really devote most of your time and most of your developers' time into actually writing the trading strategies and algorithms that are going to make money for your business and in your market. Just to highlight a couple of the kind of design decisions we've made as we went through and built out Freeway and tried to target the algorithmic trading market. With any algorithmic platform, high speed is extremely important. With Freeway, that's been really a first and foremost concern for us. So you get microsecond executions right off the shelf. We give you details of all the performance that you'll see in any of your Freeway algorithms. We call them jobs. You can see that right on our main interface, so you can edit in seconds, determine if your job is performing as you expect it to do. As I touched on before, we have a very extensive API. API stands for Application Programming Interface, if you're not familiar with that. Basically what that is it's a bunch of different ways to interact with our system using code. So, for example, with an API, what you can do is if you want to get one of your Greeks, say you want your delta for a given position, effectively what you do with an API is you ask the system, hey, can you calculate my delta and give it to me, instead of having to go through the math and all the configuration of going and calculating your own delta. So what this gives you is very minimal code. It's a lot cleaner, so you don't have to do a lot of that boilerplate work by yourself. We give you an interface on top of your code, so anytime you create a new algo, or as I said, we call them jobs, you run that right from our Freeway interface, which shows you statistics, as I mentioned, and gives you a configuration window, and really gives you a view into what any given algorithm is doing at any given time. We also have a built-in simulator that makes it pretty easy to record your own market data and then play it back. So, if you're testing on a new algo and you want to see how it would do in certain market conditions, you can very quickly and very easily deploy that against data you've recorded before, and that's all included with the system. I mentioned it fully integrates with Metro and Metro Risk. And finally, the last thing is Freeway has a Algo store that kind of rides alongside of it. And what the Algo store is designed to do is basically take a lot of the more standard type codes, standard type trading operations, for example, hedging, or different, if you want to get news alerts or things like that, different execution strategies. Really things that are not secret sauce or really important business logic. And what we enable you to do is buy pieces right off the Algo store and implement those immediately. So instead of hiring a developer and having the developer work for a week to build a gamma hedger, you can just pick our gamma hedger off the store, and for for a well-known price, for an upfront cost, you can start using that immediately. So that's been pretty attractive to people that would rather use their development time for implementing what they consider to be kind of their important logic. So right now I'll go over kind of just what it looks like when you actually create an algo. This is very similar if anyone has done any other kind of software development or trading system development. The steps, as you can see, are when you first design it or conceive it, you build it, you test it, and then you go live. What I'd like to highlight is kind of how Freeway's architecture makes all of these steps extremely easy and gets you up and running very quickly. So with Java, as I mentioned, is the underlying architecture with Freeway, or the underlying programming language with Freeway. The industry standard tool for using Java is called Eclipse. OptionsCity has built a plugin to Eclipse that will enable you to, with only a few clicks, create the skeleton of your code and upload it up to your server immediately. So you don't have to worry about going through a really long process of checking out or exporting or creating other files. You can very quickly write code, upload it to your server, see if it works, change a few things, upload it back. And what this enables you to do is iterate very quickly over your algorithms and really converge on the right design very quickly. Freeway ships with a development environment that OptionsCity maintains. So within really a few days, generally, of signing the contract, you can be developing on a full-fledged environment that is just a test environment. So as you start and as you kind of determine where your edge is in the market and where you want to target your algos, you can be using our development environment to really kind of piece those out. And then when you're ready to go in production, it's really just a one-to-one transfer from your development to your production. So that makes it very easy to test in a safe environment where you don't have to worry about inadvertently doing the wrong kind of logic and having it trade in the real market. Our dev servers are designed to really get you up and running very quickly. So this is the on-ramp console that I mentioned before. As you can see, it has several lines. It kind of looks in some ways like an Excel spreadsheet. If you look all the way over at the left, it's the second column. That's the name of the actual job or the algorithm that you're running in the market. And then if you look a little bit to the right of that, you'll see some green dots. Basically what this shows you is what you have currently running in the market. Now, as I mentioned before, we call our algos jobs. And the reason we call them jobs is because unlike a traditional algo that really only operates on market data and sends orders and things like that, Freeway jobs are really designed to be flexible and allow you to do just about anything. So to give you a couple examples, we have third-party developers that have created market sentiment indicators by reading Twitter. We have other developers that have created other newsfeed plugins. So for instance, if you want to integrate with a fast news delivery service and have that send a signal into your Freeway, you can do that with a job. Other people have done all sorts of other things related to controlling multiple servers through an IM client. Really, you're limited only by what Java can do, and Java having been around for about 20 years now, can do an awful lot. So each of these jobs that you see kind of runs as its own unit, which enables us to get very high performance, and use all of your processors and all of your available computing power. Jobs, so as I mentioned, run independently. However, they also can talk to each other through what we call signals. We'll get into that a little bit more in the dashboard window, but the idea basically is that jobs can communicate with each other. So for example, if you have one job that's looking at a bunch of different technical indicators and another job that's looking at news events, those can both coordinate together to send orders when a certain news event happens and a technical indicator hits. They can send that to a third job that would actually execute those orders and monitor in the market. So the idea is to really split up the workload and kind of ensure that your system is modular and it has different components that work well together. This window that just popped up is the configuration window. One thing that each job is designed to do well is not require a lot of trips back to the code. So when a developer creates a job, he or she can choose to make certain variables exposed to the trader, and then the trader can configure those variables every time they run the job. So what's nice, what you're looking at here, if you can see it, you're looking at an auto spreader, and you can see there's probably about 8 or 10 different options for that auto spreader that controls everything from the instrument to the ratio to the whether or not you're quoting it, to some of the slot parameters. So what's nice is with this one specific algo, I can trade just about any two instruments against each other. And so if I wanted to run 10 copies of this algo, I could run 10 copies of it and just change the settings for each copy without having to go back into the code and making one special algo for treasury yield curve trading and another special algo for options trading, spreads, or future spreads. It's all basically write once and run many times is the model. This is a little bit of a view into what our simulator looks like, how you configure it. As I mentioned, it's fairly simple but also very powerful. The Freeway itself ships with a job that allows you to record the market data. Once you've recorded the market data, this window will allow you to play it back. As you can see, there's a gauge that kind of gives you different speeds that you're able to play market data back. Anywhere from slow if you're just trying to test your calculations out, to full speed, which gives you the as fast as your computer can crunch through the numbers. This is very useful when you're trying to determine if a new algo is going to potentially be successful, if you want to play around with different parameters. This is our dashboard interface. It's basically our main visualization engine for Freeway. Like Freeway, dashboard is designed to be very flexible. Any job can listen to signals from any of the buttons you see in the upper left. They're a little bit small, but basically when you press a button, it sends a signal to a job while it's running that can change things like liens or risk management settings or order sizes, really any data you want to pass to the job as it's running. And the goal behind this is really to allow the trader to stay involved. So as the market's running, the trader may have his own intuition that says whether or not he should be more aggressive or less aggressive or widen out or anything like that. The buttons really allow the trader to basically control the algo as it's running. The kind of mosaic looking window in the lower left is our heat map. This is probably a little overkill with how many things we have in it here, but it's a good way to visualize a lot of different data relative to the entire set. So in this case, each box has, as you can see, a size and a color. So depending on what you're trying to graph, if you want to show every position with your position size as the size of the box and your P&L as the color, it's a quick way to really quickly figure out where you're making or losing money and what your relative sizes are. Graphs, basically, you all know what graphs are. The jobs themselves can publish any data to a graph, so you don't have to ask us, hey, can you put in the MACD technical indicator? You just write a job that pumps out that data to the graph, and it'll draw it for you. So really, the sky's the limit as far as what you want to push out to those graphs and visualize on the interface. Finally, we'll talk a little more about the Algo store. As I mentioned, this is kind of where you can get a lot of the boilerplate or the well-known code and just integrate it right into your system. We have developers that are working on everything from technical indicators to, as I mentioned, news stories and market sentiment analysis. Hedging is always a popular one for developers. Algorithmic execution, things like POV orders and iceberg orders and things like that. And the idea really is to just to be able to very quickly use very well-tested and well-known trading logic, so you don't have to build it out yourself, so you can focus on what's really important to your business. With that, I would encourage everybody to visit algostore.optioncity.com. You can browse through the Algo store, kind of get a flavor for what's available out there. If you're interested in seeing any more information about Metro or Freeway, you can certainly set up a demo where we can go into into deeper information on any of these, as well as we were also happy to show you more documentation or give you any other access to things like our API. So with that, I'll turn it over back to Lauren, and he can open up the questions.
Sure. Thanks, Andrew. This time we'll open this up to questions. You can kind of just text the questions in via the chat functionality with the GUI that you have in front of you to be able to see the screen. So feel free to type anything in here. Let me open this up a little bit. Apologize for. Looks like we have a queue of questions here, so I'm sifting through those. I apologize. In the meantime, you can see all of our contact information there, and feel free to. Sorry.
Can you pull it off? Let me pull it off. Make it big.
So feel free to reach out to either Kevin or I directly. There's our contact information. Sorry, I was scrambling with the GUI here to get the questions open. So start from when the questions were entered, and we have a question here that says, is it like Bloomberg that allows you to choose one of a number of benchmark models like Black-Scholes, binomial model, Garmin, Colligan, Barron, A to C Whaley? So to answer that question, yes, there's a number of different selections, many of which you mentioned in the question, that are available kind of out of the box within OptionsCity Metro to select from and to be able to kind of institute based on your theoretical pricing model. Of course, you can through Freeway, as Andrew mentioned, import your own kind of option model as well. But all of those options are available within OptionsCity Metro. The next question is, does OptionsCity have a prop trading desk? The answer to that is absolutely not. We are solely a technology provider. There is no prop trading done on the behalf of OptionsCity. Again, we're solely a technology firm. Does Freeway involve co-located servers for us? I'll let Andrew kind of take over that question.
Yes, generally it would. I mean, you'd have to be somewhere where you could have a line to the exchange. There are different options as far as prices and the actual where you put the server, depending on how latency sensitive your trade is and how much you're willing to pay for for proximity. But generally it does, but that's not a hard and fast rule.
Looks like a lot of these are other.
Yeah, the next question is, do you get warnings or notices when you start getting close to limits, whether position limits, your clearing firm limits, etc.? There is some of that functionality in Metro. You will see kind of a trade risk blinker go off. I'll scroll back to one of these where you can actually see down in the lower right-hand corner here, you can see the health center, which will alert you to various kind of scenarios, whether it be market risk, trade risk, etc. And those will flash red when you've kind of gone through any of those limits. And there's varying degrees of the limits that you have set up. It'll, could start out as kind of the level 1 degree would back your quotes out maybe 10 cents wide of the market, all the way to the final level of actually pulling your quotes from the market. So that will flash red anytime any of those thresholds are crossed. You can then click on it. It will alert you to what has been crossed, and you can readjust your vols or readjust your quotes, or just kind of say, okay, I understand this, and please put the orders back into the market. So yeah, certainly all those limits are identified and easily set up, and Andrew can kind of elaborate that on that within Freeway as well.
Yeah, for Freeway, you could certainly set that up if you wanted to. It's one call to what we call our risk center. So you say, just tell me what my current position is, and then based on what your risk limits are, you can have it flash up a limit kind of wherever you want when you're getting closer to those limits. Are there any safeguards to protect us in the event of a market disturbance like the flash crash? The answer to that is yes. There are a lot of different. The way we think about risk here is in several different levels. At the lowest level, we encourage every person that develops an algorithm to try to put in their own risk settings. Obviously, once you pass the job level, we have a lot of settings in the system that control risk. So on each job, I don't have it pulled up right now, but on each job you can specify a limit of orders per second, open orders, trades per second, market underlying movement, as I think Lauren may have alluded to as he answered the last question. So all of that you can basically set up to determine how your orders are in the market. So in this particular example, such as a flash crash, most likely what you would do and what a lot of OptionsCity customers had was if the underlying moves by a certain percentage or a certain amount, it will back their orders out, and if it hits the fourth threshold that Lauren was talking about, it'll completely take your orders out of the market. So that's that's going to be the main safeguard as far as deep crashes like the flash crash. As far as order types, yes, we can support market orders, limit orders. As far as time and force, we support good to cancel, IOC, really just about all the normal stops, all the normal order types. So you can really choose how you want to do that. Liens, you can specify by hand in the Metro client if you're using Metro. There's a column. Basically what the lien does is it just takes your bid and your offer and shifts it by a specific number. So if your market's 100 at 101 and you put in a 0.5 lien, it'll lean your market up to 100.5 at 101.5. So Metro, you can specify that just basically by typing it in or by setting it for a group of instruments. Freeway, you can get a little more customized, and you can set it dynamically, have the software set it dynamically as you're going through and quoting or setting orders. Can you link to CQG and Freeway? Depends on what you're trying to do, I guess. We don't specifically have a hard link built in already, but there's we have a lot of ways to plug into third-party systems. So if CQG is something that you're interested in pursuing, that's certainly something that we've kind of built in the hooks. We just don't have a hard relationship with right now. PowerPoint publicly available, I'm not sure.
Are we going to disseminate any of that?
It'll be live on our website probably by tomorrow afternoon. Or if you send an email, if you could scroll back to the contact info.
Nope.
Oh, that's okay. If you want to send an email request over to info@optioncity.com, we can certainly send you a PDF, but this entire recording will be available on our website by Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
There you go.
So there's the contact info again. And then I think the next question is for you, Andrew. Can you talk a little bit more about your back testing software and Freeway? What kind of data is available for back testing? Is it tick-based, 5-minute, daily, etc.? Any portfolio optimization capability?
Sure. So the way we set it up with our simulator and with our back testing is you can record your own data through a job. So it's up to you, and you're allowed to turn that on and basically create the market data files. We also do support third-party market data. However, that's something we kind of let you bring your own third-party market data in. We don't provide back-tested data. As far as tick-based versus 5-minute versus daily, we do support all of the above. The way you would do it with third-party is we allow you to import a simulation file. The simulation file just has timestamps next to each piece of market data. So depending on how you want to specify those timestamps, you can specify them, down to the millisecond. You can specify them at different intervals, at daily, really kind of however you'd like. As far as portfolio optimization, if you wanted to do that, the way you would typically do that would be, run it through and have your algorithm kind of running some things in the background that's that's looking at the data as it's coming in and trying to choose different parameters. We encourage you also we can plug into third-party platforms like R, MATLAB, things like that, and incorporate some of the output files that people use. So that tends to be a popular thing for portfolio optimization. If you want to run a lot of different simulations or Monte Carlos, people use kind of third-party packages that are designed really from the ground up to do that, and then bring in the results of those calculations. Simulate ad liquidity orders. Are you talking about? Are you talking about ad liquidity only orders, like market making orders? Are you able to reply? Okay. So that's I guess that's somewhat of a difficult question. With any simulator, you have to kind of think about how you want the market to react to any given order, since you're not actually in the market. We do have some logic that does dictate how you're going to get fills and what you'll see from the market when you're trying to when you're posting orders. So I think we do it fairly well, and we will simulate orders getting filled if you're adding liquidity, and if you're sitting on the bid, or if you're creating a new best bid. But it's going to depend on kind of what your exact parameters are that you're trying to do, and it's flexible enough that we can generally accommodate a lot of different types of trading and types of simulation. Yeah, no, that's interesting. We haven't done a lot with pro rata venue simulation, but that's certainly an area that we've thought about a little bit. If that's if that's something you want to have a conversation about, we're definitely happy to pursue that more. Sorry, you guys probably can't see the questions. It said he said, right, quite difficult on price time venues, but possible on pro rata venues.
But I don't see any further questions coming in. If anything comes up after the fact, or after you guys maybe miss some of it and catch it on the website tomorrow, again, you see our contact information that'll be distributed, with the recorded webinar that you can access tomorrow. Again, thank you for everyone's time. We appreciate you attending. Thank you to Kevin and RCG for partnering with us on this. We're really appreciative, and everyone have a great afternoon.